able to sort of do anything at all, was absolutely powerless. And, you know, Derry, their creativity has been unleashed. I mean, Conleth Gilligan in 2000, whenever Ballinderry were the All-Ireland Club champions, was the man of the match in every single round of the championship. John Brennan had to take him back into the county team this year, and people said, well, why are you taking back a fella who's on the other side of 30? He said, because every time Laffy played him, Gilligan's brilliant. And what he has done is he has picked a team, all of whom can score, including the subs who come on. I mean, Kieran Mullen came on at corner back. He scored a goal and a point in the McKenna Cup final. The team are happy and confident.
You said to me that John Brennan, the Derry manager, said to them when he took over, went in there, I am here to solve your psychological illnesses. Or
well, in essence, that's what he has done. I mean, he was talking about it during the week. You know, he has turned them from also-rans into what more is there, a happy, confident team. I mean, when was the last time you saw Enda Muldoon playing so happily the way he's playing there today? We've known in Derry, you know, when Enda Muldoon was 19, I said, look, this fella's going to be a Maurice Fitzgerald. He's going to be one of the greats. And I mean, Mark Lynch, the same, 16, playing in a minor All-Ireland final, dominating the game when Derry absolutely trounced the opposition. And now you're seeing, when John has come in, that true to his word, he has cured that sickness now. It's only an Ulster semi-final and all of that. But you know, he does have that ability to motivate and to organise. And the other thing that he's good at is this. He makes substitutions very, very quickly and sees things very, very quickly on the line, which was in stark contrast to what was happening with Armagh today.
Pat, as the cliche goes in sport, we've won nothing yet. There's no trophies won today, but that is a step forward for Derry.
Absolutely, but let's not get overly carried away. Let's not get over carried away for us about the two managers' role. I mean, at the end of the day, its players have to deliver, and the Derry players delivered today. They played with pace, they played with passion, they played with urgency. They've scored 4 goals in 32.
But it's no coincidence, Pat.
Yeah, okay, I accept that. But 4 goals and 32 points in championship matches. It was superb football, and they played with confidence. They did what you want. They created space, moved the ball quick and long into that space, and blew Armagh apart. Yet at the same time, let's look at Armagh briefly. I mean, they were overhyped after one game. They didn't play with any of the urgency or the intensity that they played in. And as Joe alluded to at half-time, they played with a new tactic the last day. They went to revert to traditional catch-and-kick football, forwards playing as forwards, man marking. And it worked because they got a great start and they played with confidence. Today, they didn't get a good start. They were struggling for most of the game. And at the end, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know which plan we would go. And they were caught between two minds. And it was a very, very poor display by Armagh. But you know, one other thing, I mean, and it's something that was bothering me today. I was reading newspapers and a certain member of the backroom staff was having a go at Joe and having a go at me. And they're right to have a go at us, no problem. But you know,
speak for yourself.
You don't have a go at guys when you've won one championship match. You can have a go at guys when you have the trophy in your hand. You say, ha, I've shut you up, lads.
This, by the way, was
That's my rant after
he just
to explain to people who wonder what Pat is talking about. This is Mike McGurn, who is the Armagh fitness coach.
I shall do Mike the service of not performing the Joe Brolly stretch live on TV today.
Well, thanks be to God for that. Speaking of which, by the way, we're all in praise of Derry today, and rightly so. We're all in praise of John Brennan, yet it was only a couple of weeks ago you played for Armagh, and John Brennan described it as rubbish in the second half.
Well, in fairness,
and the whole team looked like it was doing the Joe Brolly stretch at times.
And Joe tipped Armagh today. Just remember that as well.
Let's say no. I'm not going to put any kiboshes in Derry, you know, because for so many years we've said, "Oh, well, I fancy Derry, I fancy Derry, I fancy Derry," you know, and everybody's terrified. I was coming down today, you know, on the phone, and I was on to all my old teammates, and everybody was saying, "For God's sake, whatever you do, don't tip us. Please don't tip us."
That's right.
So, the point is this: that you know, Brennan is just he's a force of nature, and he knows what he's doing. So there's no doubt, Pat, there's no doubt that this is not a coincidence. I mean, in our last 3 league games this year, the most important thing was we beat Tyrone in the McKenna Cup. And Tyrone did their usual. Conor Gormley went to double team Paddy Bradley. And what happened was that Brennan said, look, to the cornerback, just go up and attack on him, make him mark you. But he scored a goal and a point, and all of a sudden people were saying, this is a man to be reckoned with.
Can I just say something there, Joe? Sorry. You know, I mean, it's something that's being levelled at us all the time, and this ageist thing has come in lately. What do these guys know about it, you know? It's a modern game. here a new manager comes along. He's 67 years of age.
67, yeah.
He's absolutely proving to be a breath of fresh air. And what does he do? Is there some modern, innovative tactics? Is there some new
4
scientific...
times he's been turned down for the Derry job.
I think he's a couple of months older than 67.
Do you know
but the bottom line is, Michael, I mean, what's he doing? He's playing, he's giving a team confidence and belief, like Mick does to Kerry. And he's playing traditional football in one sense, where you move the ball quick and long. Of course he is. But he's moving the ball quick and long into the danger area, and the chances of getting scores are much higher. Bottom line.
What about Armagh?
Well, I think that what we saw today illustrates all of their problems, and those problems will remain.
Because they're going to the qualifiers now,
because I genuinely do think that Paddy doesn't have... Paddy's a great fella, don't get me wrong, he was a brilliant Gaelic footballer and all of those things.
Can I put this to you?
But I just don't think there's any creative sort of vision there for the team.
They weren't perhaps as good as they looked against Down.
Yeah.
And perhaps they're not as bad as they looked today against Derry.
I understand that. Yes. And there was a big problem for Armagh, which was this, that they went into the Down game, they did treat it as the All-Ireland final. It was a huge game for them. Down were heavily fancied, and Armagh dismantled them, and they played as if their lives depended upon it. Now they come in against Derry, and all of a sudden they're the favourites, because Derry have had just a wee romp through against Fermanagh, and in fairness, anybody at that particular time would have beaten Fermanagh. We don't take any pleasure in it. Fermanagh are at a very, very, very low ebb.
Never in our wildest dreams did we feel that we would have been beaten by as much as we beaten. We always knew this were possible league. You know, the game would have been tight, but you know, we were well beaten. And I suppose we have to try and, you know, just take a serious look at that and see why.
The boys really turned it on, and I've said before, we like to play attacking football. I know it might be said in your studios that puke football, but I think that out there today showed Ulster has moved away, well, we have anyway, from puke football. I never believed in it.
John's John. Anybody that knows him will know exactly what he's like. Again, John brings a passion to the thing, and players have responded well to that, and you know, there's no real magic formula. It's hard work, I suppose.
Well, Kieran, you were very impressed with that hard work and the results of it for Derry.
Yeah, John Brennan. Yeah.
Nominees for man of the match, Kieran?
All from Derry. The first one was Owen Bradley, as we know. He was fantastic. He 3 different markers, and he destroyed probably the 3 of them. He was fantastic. Conor Gilligan, who John Brennan brought back from the wilderness, you know, scored 1-5, took all his frees well, and a great goal. And in defence, with Jared O'Kane out, Charlie Kilt came in and he gave them stability at centre back.
Great, OK. And the man of the match column is?
Well, I think it was fairly obvious. I think Owen Bradley was just brilliant today. You know, he seems to be a player that plays better when he has the individual responsibility up front, and Paddy not being there, he has to take it on. He got all sorts of scores today. Now, the Derry or the Armagh marking was unusual. I thought they would have surely put Andy Mallon on him, even though he ended up on him.
They did after a while, yeah.
And it didn't work. But, you know, they brought back Kieran McKeever. It didn't work on him. But, you know, he scored points with his left foot, points with his right foot, a goal with his left foot, and controlled the game. Now, he's often in the past been guilty of sort of indiscipline and petulance, and we saw a little bit of it at the end, kicking the ball at Andy Mallon. But he had just owned the game today, and it was a really brilliant individual display by Owen Bradley.
I think Armagh sacrificed having to bring Kieran McKeever back, because he is a pivotal player in that central part of their team, and having to bring him back full back, it didn't work. He's not a natural full back.
OK, well then let's hear from Owen Bradley. He spoke to Joanne.
Colin Flanagan from Ulster Bank is here to present the Sunday Game Man of the Match Award to Derry's Owen Bradley.
Congratulations, Owen. Thanks. Well done. Right.
Well deserved to Owen. Where did that performance come from?
A lot of hard training, a lot of hard work over the last lot of months. Paid off there today. I suppose John instilled a wee bit of belief in Tess, and thank God it came through the other day. We've been all the wrong end enough semi-finals, so today we put that right.
Must be extra satisfying as well when you conceded the early goal in the second half that the heads didn't drop, and in fact you seem to push on from it.
Yeah, we got this first score, I think, after the goal. I think Charlie Kilt got a point, so we built on from that there, and I suppose we just took it from there, and we ran out comfort winners in the end.
All right, that's Owen talking to Pádraig Lodge, in case you thought Joanne's voice had dropped, but well done to Owen. On to Camogie now, and round 2 of the All-Ireland series.